Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So, tonight I want to talk about Bitcoin becoming the next reserve currency of the world. That seems so far-fetched right now, right? It seems like that's impossible. The world can never get off the USD, right? That will never happen. Well, it's surprising. If you look at history, it happened a lot. Very often. In fact, we're right around the same kind of time period or same length as some of the previous fiat currencies that were reserve currencies and now no longer. So what is the USD going to be replaced with? Is it Bitcoin? Well, I'm going to discuss that tonight. So smash the like, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and check out all the latest news, article, and guides at CryptosRUs.com. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hopefully you guys are doing good. Also, I got an update for you guys about the Fed minutes. And you could see, remember this morning I said, I think the Fed minutes is going to be a nothing burger. There's really nothing that could be said in there that would surprise traders, right? And sure enough, right afterwards, boom. We recover right back to the same point, 44,000 as yesterday, right? So this morning, it just seemed like there was some traders that's trying to, protect themselves, trying to prepare for the worst. And when nothing happened, nothing burger was announced, well, it came right back up, just like the market. So, overall, if you look at the Fed minutes, this is old news. This is looking at what was discussed last month. Right? And we already know everything that was talked about last month. Last month wasn't good. Wasn't good at all, right? Traders panicking over what may come in March and all that. But since then, people have come to their senses. They're like, okay, 50 basis points in March, okay, we could deal with that. Inflation at 7.5%, okay, we could deal with that. So it just seems like right now things are being priced in. However, afterwards, after March and beyond, we'll have to see how effective these methods are because, raising the rate and reducing the balance sheet. So the Fed is not going to be buying as many bonds or as much bonds as before, right? Reducing their balance sheet. Is this going to help with inflation, right? Also, we got supply chain issues that should be relieving itself in the second half of this year. So you add all that up, hopefully, it'll curb inflation, but not to the point where it brings recession on. Not to the point where it's going to cause the inverse, a recession that leads to deflation, which would actually be worse than the situation we're in right now, right? So they have to balance themselves carefully. But anyways, so after that, the market came right back up, right? And if you look at, well, now some of it is in red, but it was showing pretty much all green. But so that's what's happened since this morning. And we'll have to see what happens tomorrow, right? Wall Street didn't really do anything. So it seems like this week is still kind of like a flat week, right? But that's not bad. That's not bad. This is a flat week. You have some earnings. NVIDIA reported spectacular earnings, and I'll discuss that tomorrow morning. I think that's more fitting for tomorrow's market open stream, so I'll talk about that. But tomorrow we also have Walmart's earnings, so that'll be important to see how retail sales and how Americans are in terms of their spending habits, right? So we'll see all that. All right, but tonight I want to talk about this. This is actually from our friend, Charlie Munger, who I still don't understand why he has not retired yet. He's probably like a billionaire like Warren Buffett. And, I just don't know why he's still working. I just don't get it. And I don't know why Warren Buffett is still working either. But anyways, if you listen to this clip, basically he's saying that over the next 100 years, fiat currency in general is going to zero. He didn't say Bitcoin is going to zero. He said fiat currency is going to zero. Although he was interviewed, there's another clip of this, of him asking if he regrets that he missed the crypto, rise And he's like, no, he still hates crypto, but he believes that fiat is going to zero. And so many others do. Some of the greatest minds out there, some of the greatest financial minds and richest people on earth also think that fiat is just unsustainable, that it is created to basically fail. Okay, so let's look at this. So this is a nice what is that? Infographics. So you could see that $1 back in 1913 could have bought you 30 Hershey's bars. Then in 1929, you could buy 10 rolls of toilet paper. In 1933, you could buy 10 bottles of beer. And then you keep going. And now $1 could buy one McDonald's coffee. And if you look at, some of these previous things listed, how much things have inflated. To buy 30 Hershey chocolate bars costs about $26. Okay? So kind of shows you, puts it in perspective, how your buying power has devalued, basically, has shrunk over the years. And this tells you exactly when it started. Well, it started right when the Federal Reserve Act created a central bank, the Federal Reserve, that has the ability to manage the country's money. Ever since that happened, things started going down in a big way. So ever since the Federal Reserve basically can dictate how much money can be printed in the United States, that's when things just turn worse for the worse, right? Over here, you have, this is right after the war, I believe World War I, and that's when President Roosevelt said it was illegal to own gold. And then things got worse, and then eventually, okay, you could use gold, you could hold gold again, but anyways. And then over here in 1970 is when Reagan removed the gold standard so that you don't have to have gold as a reserve to back USD. So that was a thing. But, I guess, there was just is enough gold out there on Earth to kind of, be put into reserves so that they can print enough money. Basically, that's what it comes down to. There's just not enough gold. It's just too hard to accumulate that much gold. Imagine if we had to get all this gold right now and store it for all the trillions that was printed in the last 2 years. That would be impossible. You would have to, I don't know, fill a mountain full of gold to make that happen. But anyways, ever since then, things got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, right? So kind of shows you that ever since the Federal Reserve came out, and ever since the gold standard was abandoned, things just got really bad. It's just really, really bad, right? And over time, maybe a few years here and there, you just don't know how much the dollar devalues, but over time, you really notice it. So this is the most interesting thing: historical timeline reserve currencies. And it goes back all the way to BC times. I don't even know how people keep track of this. It goes all the way to BC times to now. And you can see before the US dollar, which has been the standard for the last 102 years, roughly the same as British pound before, which is 105 years. And then a French franc, which is 95 years. And the Spanish real, 100 years before that. Dutch guilder, which is 90 years. Spanish real again, 110 years. Portugal real, 110 years, right? So you can see in modern times, since the 1400 till now, it's about 100 years, 110 years, in terms of a fiat currency being the reserve currency of the world, right? So the US dollar is pressing right up against that, 102 years. So does that mean it's about to be replaced with something else? Is that Bitcoin? Is it Bitcoin? Is Bitcoin going to become the next world reserve currency? Well, you're starting to see countries really embrace Bitcoin, right? They want to get off the US dollar standard. So you're starting to see countries embrace Bitcoin. And maybe there are some countries that's doing it behind the scenes, not announcing it, right? I'm sure Russia has been accumulating Bitcoin. I'm sure China has been accumulating Bitcoin. And now the U.S. government owns about $4.5 billion worth of Bitcoin due to the Bitfinex hack that they confiscated, right? and El Salvador has Bitcoin, and many other countries starting to buy Bitcoin. So is it possible that one day we're going to see Bitcoin as the world's reserve currency? That would be wild. And it could happen. Something's going to replace the dollar eventually. It's not going to be the world currency forever. Might as well be Bitcoin because it's the one currency, right, that isn't controlled by any country. It's not going to be labeled US Bitcoin or British Bitcoin or French Bitcoin. It's going to be labeled Bitcoin, a non-sovereign currency that could be shared among the world. Think about it. It just makes sense. It really does if you think about it. But anyways, so that's something that we have to worry about. With inflation, with the Fed, with the historical timeline, right? It's all coming to be. Yeah, so we have that to look forward to. And when that happens, Bitcoin will be above $1 million each. Okay? So if you're worried about volatility, you're worried about 44,000 Bitcoin, know that as more and more people, institutions, and countries fight over the very scarce Bitcoin, the price will go up. It's just a matter of supply and demand, right? The price is dictated by supply and demand is set. And the reverse. Supply is set, demand is only getting higher. So there you go. All right. Other things that kind of back this, Americans, according to this poll, Americans prefer crypto over traditional savings account. I mean, of course, a traditional saving account gets you zero interest. You're giving money to the bank and they're utilizing that to borrow more money, and then they're going to invest that money. So basically, they give you nothing. So why are you giving banks your money? Why are you storing your money in there? It makes no sense. Of course, you want to utilize your money and use it to make more money, right? And of course, many are choosing crypto to do that with, right? And then also Deutsche Bank also surveyed, and according to their, I think it was 680 people, no, 3,250 people, most got in crypto, 65% got in within the last 12 months, right? And they're saying even if Bitcoin crashes, even if it goes lower, they are holding. They're not going away. And many, including a quarter, so 25%, expects Bitcoin to be traded over 110,000 in the next 5 years. And 70% said that they plan on increasing their crypto activity in the next 12 months. Yeah, there's a lot of people that's starting to see, right? Starting to turn the corner, starting to see that this is the future. There's short-term volatility, sure, but this is the future. Bitcoin, blockchain, decentralization, Web 3.0, right? So, pretty positive. And I have to mention, of course, my partner, ITrustCapital, right, allows anyone to utilize their 401k, Roth IRA, regular IRA, to invest in crypto. So if you want to be a lifer, if you want to buy crypto, and you want to basically hold it until you retire, there's no better way to do so than with ITrustCapital. And they have the most secure custodians using Coinbase and Fireblocks, which both offer plenty of insurance, and they have phone support and customer service. They allow you to trade basically with no fees. So if you're one of those people, check out ITrustCapital. Just want to throw my partner in there. All right, other things that's happening for Twitter. They're adding Ethereum wallet support. So I don't know. I still don't have this. But if you have iOS, if you're using Apple and you have Twitter, you can add in your Bitcoin address so people could tip you. Now they're opening up Ethereum address so that you can tip people on Ethereum. I still don't have either because I don't have iOS. So hopefully they add that soon. But yeah, Twitter is adding a lot of features. Of course, they have their NFT authentication that they built in already, right? So it makes sense they add Ethereum. But yeah, they're trying to add more and more features into their social platform. So not bad, not bad. Algrorand announces funding for Ethereum Bridge, right? Algrorand has been making a lot of headlines recently. The Musk family invested into a new streaming platform that's within Algorand. They're coming out with an EVM compatible chain. They're coming out with some kind of new trustless bridge between Algorand and Ethereum, right? They're doing a lot of stuff. So good for Algorand. Good for Algorand. And also, what's good with Solana is Audius, which is a project I haven't talked about in a long time, but they are a decentralized streaming platform. They are a decentralized version of Spotify, basically. And now they have decided to launch on Solana because they started on Ethereum, it's just too costly. So now they decided to launch their platform on Solana. And the great thing about Audius is this. Their platform is already working. And last time I checked, they already had millions of users that were listening, but they didn't even know that this was a decentralized project. This is a crypto project, right? So they have the users and they're operational. You could jump on and listen right away. And now you're rewarded in Audius tokens or audio tokens for just basically doing simple things like listening and creating playlists and searching for your favorite artists. I mean, just simple stuff like that, right? They call it Audius rewards. And according to this, look, already 15,000 audio has been distributed, just for using the platform. So it's fantastic, and I hope they do grow even bigger. So I think this will help themselves, obviously, but also go help Solana in a big way. So pretty positive for them. And speaking of music, Snoop Dogg plans on turning his Death Row Records into the very first NFT music label. Now, he already has a partnership with Gala. He actually released, his own Back to Death Row collection on Gala. But he plans on converting his whole music record label to an NFT music label. Quite interesting. I don't know how that's going to work exactly. I actually don't know how that's going to work. It sounds good, though. It does sound good. So we'll see. And I do think a lot of musicians, they really do like NFTs or decentralized platforms because it's more fair. If you actually look at how much they're making from streaming, traditional streaming platforms or radio stations, or even selling music, right? It's just really, really, really low because a lot of the fees, a lot of cuts, now it gives the power back to them to sell directly to their customers, right? Especially with NFTs. So positive overall. All right, guys. That's really it for tonight. I mean, if you look at the entire market, it's pretty flat. Some green, some red, but pretty much flat. There are still some winners, like Avalanche has been doing well the last few days, almost back up to $100, which is fantastic. They actually flipped above Terra today. I didn't even know that, right? So they're right behind Solana right now. So these four right here, battling it out for 7 to 10, right? At any given time, these could flip above each other. So it's a great list right there. Polygon and Polkadot, they're still trying to move themselves up. Cosmos, Phantom, a lot of great buys still. All right, let's do some Q&A. Hi, Nick. Did you check the Chicago Auto Show? Yes, I attended. Oh. Scrolling through the comments here. Yeah, a lot of back and forth about ex-presidents, about Charlie Munger. Not a lot of questions about crypto. Okay. As long as you guys are enjoying yourself and being nice. Let's see. A lot of hate with some of this. I don't know what's gotten into people in the chat today. I'm gonna have to filter this chat out. Terra's SDR for reserve currency. No. Do you think we could see 50K BTC by the end of March? Yeah, why not? Sure. I mean, that's only 6K away. You know, 6K, that could happen like this weekend. So can we see that in March? I definitely think so. I think right now, going to March, really depends on what the Fed announces. And I don't know the exact date. It should be the end of March. That's when the FOMC meeting happens and they come out with whatever they're going to do. The official announcement of whatever they're going to do with rates, right? I think up until then, we have a really good chance to just keep rallying until that point. Then it depends on what they say, right? So between now and then, sure, it can happen. It can happen. Coinbase listed a crypto called Ventus. Have you done research on them? No. I have stopped. I mean, there's so many coins that Coinbase lists now. They're all like a lot. I shouldn't say all, but a lot of them are just like out there. Like you have no idea what they are. So no, I haven't looked at a lot of them. Given what happened, BlockFi pulled all my BTC and ADA from Coinbase and moved to Celsius. Good idea. Why did you pull from Coinbase though? I don't get that, Frank. It's going to happen to everyone, basically, eventually. Eventually in the U.S., the regulators, the SEC, will basically shut down all lending projects. However, they will be playing nice with a few. So BlockFi is working on something else that will play nice with the SEC. So they are working on that. But right now, I think it doesn't matter what company you go with, right? If it works, great. And you can continue using them, but at some point, I think SECs go after all of them. Jay, thank you. Do you think crypto.com could reach $5? I don't even know what it is right now. Where is it? Did I skip it? Can it reach $5, 10x? Not gonna happen anytime soon. You got to realize, Carson, and everyone else that's watching, you may look at this and you're like, oh yeah, 10x. 10x happens all the time. But the thing you're probably not taking into account is the market cap, which is already at $12 billion. 10x would make it $120 billion. How many projects are above $120 billion right now? Only 2. So it's not very likely anytime soon. Okay, so keep that in mind. Bitcoin, I mean, Binance is a much bigger exchange than Crypto.com, and they're only worth $70 billion, right? So you have to take into account market cap. You can't just look at a number and think, okay, it could do 10x, 100x, or whatever. You have to look at it that way. When is the Fed FUD baked in enough? It won't be baked in enough until March, until the very first rate hike happens. Then I think we'll finally get true direction. Right now, until then, it's all speculation. It's never going to go away until that happens. Do you think the next president will be pro-crypto? I have no idea. I think all presidents right now have no idea about crypto. So the good thing is, though, we have a lot of Congress people now that do understand and do like crypto, so we do have some allies. Okay, Rose City Pokemon. Okay, I'm not gonna check it out and stop spamming. It's not gonna help. How long do you hold your UST and Anchor? I think they could last 3 years. I mean, you could hold it as long as there's a reserve to pay out. And recently they just put in another $450 million, right? So if you have extra money, especially in a stablecoin like UST, there's no reason why you can't just put it in there and just earn passive income and just wait. It's just, free money basically at this point. Let's see. Dr. 10, thank you. What else is there? Am I on DeFi Kingdom's Discord? No, I am not. Terra don't care about SEC. I guess that's true because it's not in the US base, but if they get big enough, they still will have to care. Should I dump my DOT for Avalanche? I don't know. Depends on your portfolio. But me personally, I like Avalanche more than DOT. But again, it depends on your portfolio. It depends on your situation. Do you think LCX.com could reach $1? I have no idea what project that is. LCX. Relatively small project. Has come down from their peak in October. Digital asset revolution, the future will be tokenized, a regulated trading venue offering a range of digital currencies, joint compliant token sales. Well, sounds good. They're working with a few big projects. Liechtenstein's blockchain laws. So their headquarters in Liechtenstein. Looks pretty legit. Can I reach $1? Sure, but I don't know enough about them to make that judgment call. Jason, appreciate it. Avalanche TVL is the reason why pumping. Yes. I've always said, if you're starting out and you have no idea what to look for outside of Bitcoin, always look at TVL. Okay, TVL is a big, one of the biggest factors in terms of whether or not a coin will go up, especially when it comes to L1s, okay? Because it's the amount of liquidity that's locked in, basically taken out of circulation, right? So if you look at TVL, Avalanche is number 4 now. Phantom is number 5, Binance Smart Chain, Terra, and of course Ethereum. This is the reason why Ethereum is so far ahead of everyone, because it's, it makes up almost 60% of the entire space. However, once upon a time, they were even higher than that. So the other little projects are eating away at Ethereum's TVL, which is why they still have time. They still have time to move to Ethereum 2.0 and have time to scale. But eventually, they can't scale. These other projects will eat away at Ethereum and overtake it. But right now, there's still a big gap between Ethereum and all the other ones. Donnie asked about Orion Protocol. They also have 8.81 APY and OUSD for DeFi. What do you think about long term? Good project, shitcoin. Well, I don't know. They used to be a pretty good terminal that aggregates a lot of liquidity from DEXs and centralized exchanges. I know they have been working at different things. I have not kept up with them, so I don't know. I don't know if they're going to make it or not. So, looking at last year, yeah, they peaked right around April, and since then they have just really no traction at all. So, yeah, I can't tell you. I can't tell you if they're going to come back. On the value of the dollar, have you considered cost of goods has risen due to price gouging? Corporations, company have record high profits. Yes and no, but it's a very competitive space. So even though the monopolies can do that. For everything else, you know, they're undercutting each other. So I don't think that's the case at all. Solana, Avalanche, Phantom has big pump and dumps. DOT stagnant for a while. Thoughts on DOT purchase for short midterm trade. Should head up. Well, being stagnant for a long time has its advantages, right? Like you said, there's no big dumps when others get it, but there's also no big pumps either like others get it. So I think that will do well, but you know, their DeFi offering still weak. I think of around 1 billion in TVL, which is a lot weaker than others. You know, the parachains are coming up. There's a lot of parachains that is, you know, focused on DeFi and NFTs. You just have to wait until they turn up. When there's more TVL locked in, they'll naturally bring them up, right? But I do like Phantom, Avalanche, Solana a lot. It would appear that although price is falling weekly or monthly, the RSI is picking up. Are we reaching a tipping point for the markets? Well, yeah, if you look at longer time frames. So if you look at 4 hour, right? 4 hour stochastic is coming down. MACD is coming down, which is why maybe we're coming down a little bit, but you can see the price action is still holding at 44,000, which is great. But if you look at daily, obviously daily we broke out of this channel, which is really good. We're holding here, right? In terms of RSI, still a little high, but we could definitely continue higher. And if you're looking at something like weekly, yeah, weekly we have flipped above, which is fantastic. Stochastic, RSI, MACD is all flipping to the upside, which is really, really good, right? That means the downfall is over. And if you go to monthly, I have not checked monthly in a long time. Monthly, RSI is coming up. MACD and stochastic have not yet, but daily, weekly is actually looking really promising. Weekly looks like we're heading up, but weekly is on a much longer time frame, right? So within the weeks, there could be still up and downs, but weekly does look pretty good. Lewis, thank you. Check out GraphLink. It looks legit. The ID too good to be true. If you think it's too good to be true, then it probably is. GraphLink. Yeah, that's way too small, man. That's way too small. So I'm going to avoid looking at that for now. All right, guys. Digibyte. Not a fan of Digibyte. I think, you know, they try to move to smart contracts. It's just, obviously, it's not working. So, yeah, not a fan of Digibyte anymore. DeFi Kingdom. Still waiting for DeFi Kingdom to move to Avalanche. That's going to be a big thing. Joey, appreciate that. Let's see here. Ada, no burger. Just give Ada a chance. It'll come back up. Do people really buy NFTs, Hellcat? Yes, they do. Yes, they do. I don't know why you think that's... I noticed, Hellcat, on your Twitter the other day that you're tweeting a lot about Floki or some kind of meme coin. I thought you were Bitcoin maxi. And if people buy meme coins, why would you think that they don't buy NFTs? In fact, I would argue meme coins could be dead forever because of the retail side that wants to get rich quick. They move to NFTs. So, yeah, I think meme coins could have a really hard time coming back to their highs because of NFT explosion. All right. That's it, guys. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel. Fed minutes revealed nothing, so that's good. Bitcoin came back up. That's good. The market is holding. So we'll just have to see what happens tomorrow. There's really no big economic news, I don't believe, other than some earnings reports. But I will definitely look at it and let you guys know. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. Morning stream, market open, 8:15 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right, guys. Have a good one. And in the meantime, enjoy this very educational video about Ripple. Take care.
What do you think about Ripple?
Well, I mean, I think it's too centralized, but I definitely want to meet Chris Larson. Uh.